Michigan's term limit will cause mass turnover in the year in the Senate, especially the House. How challenging do you think the loss of institutional knowledge will be? And as governor, how will you and your staff prepare to work with new lawmakers?
Well, first of all, I think that term limits oftentimes is used as kind of a scapegoat for anything that doesn't work well. I just point over to Washington, D.C. and point, there's no term limits there. And I see all kinds of gridlock over my entire lifetime. So I don't think it's necessarily term limits. When you have people that have an attitude about working together, whether they've been there for a long time or they've been there for a short period of time, good people do good things, and ineffective people are ineffective, no matter how long you give them to do it. So I don't think that term limits is really the problem. In fact, in my time, I've seen, I'd put the 2011-12 legislature up against any legislature in the history of Michigan and its effectiveness in an economic a situation of total economic crisis, and a brand new legislature, and they did amazing work. And it was like so many new people, new governor and new legislature, and it was like they didn't know they couldn't do all these things, and so they just did them. And look what happened: 540,000 new jobs, 17-year low unemployment, sixth fastest income growth state in the nation since 2010. I mean, this is and we're number one inbound migration of college graduates in the Great Lakes states now. After being last for a long time, we're number one 3 years in a row. I mean, that work was set up by a legislature that was elected under term limits. So that's why I look at it and say, philosophically, elections are kind of like term limits. But at the end of the day, I don't think that that's the problem. I think culturally we have to have an attitude about working together and understanding where other people are coming from. Relationships are important, but it doesn't really take that long to form relationships when you're intentional about that work. And that's how I've always approached things, and how I will continue to approach it in the future, is to be with people, right, when you're developing plans. I believe in getting coalitions of people together early in the process, and trying to develop plans. So whether it was autism insurance reform, or the criminal justice reform, or the opioid addiction epidemic, or the phase out of the industrial personal property tax. I mean, these initiatives that I led, you'll see that I just engaged with people early. I stayed engaged with a lot of people, and then did my best to bring people together to find a solution. And I think you can do it with or without term limits.